Maserati GT2 Stradale is a car rooted on the track and type approved for use on the road, with the ability to combine the extreme, refined performance of the racing world with the option of uncompromising driving in the utmost comfort. The Maserati GT2 Stradale is based on the same ultra-light carbon fiber chassis as the GT2 track car to ensure maximum lightness, uncompromising torsional rigidity and extraordinary handling. A car that can bring together the best of the MC20 and GT2, top speed of 324 km per hour. The maximum output of the extraordinary V6 Nettuno engine has been increased to 631 horsepower, 10 horsepower more than the MC20, acceleration from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.8 seconds, making it the most agile rear-wheel drive in its category. The new super sports car pairs extraordinary performance on various track surfaces made possible by unprecedented handling, the main contribution to which has been the great work done by the engineers to increase the aerodynamic downforce, now a perfectly balanced 500 kilograms, with the refined task of reducing the weight. As well as performance, the car is also at home on any type of road, courtesy of the front lift, and on-demand option in various markets that raises the car by 35 mm at an angle of 3 degrees, making it possible to travel along even the roughest routes. The 100-liter boot also makes it suitable for everyday use. The front features a new design, maintaining the typical Maserati architecture and adapting to requirements in terms of cooling and aerodynamics. The forms are functional to the vehicle dynamics. The front mouth, known in development as the shark nose, has been broadened, ensuring greater airflow and introducing an aesthetic concept that will be seen again in future Maserati models. The front bonnet was also developed and previously introduced in the racing version GT2. The GT2 Stradale takes it up in full, with adaptation for the specific aerodynamic requirements of load balancing and to expel hot air. The area around the front fender has been revamped with the introduction of air outlets in the upper part of the fenders from the GT2 to let out hot air to cool the brakes and reduce the pressure inside the wheel arches. The air intakes in the rear fenders, on the other hand, have been completely redesigned and enlarged, producing a new carbon fiber cupola to improve the flow of cold air, plus 16%, to supply the engine and cool the radiators. The carbon fiber spoiler has been revised compared to the MC20 design, increasing its surface area, and the wing with a boomerang design and built-in end plates has been added. The all-new rear wing, inspired by the GT2's, is connected to the car with pylons in the form of structural poles in solid aluminium. The fastening system offers 3 different adjustments with the same number of levels of aerodynamic downforce. To support the load, the bonnet area has been reinforced. In the rear, the large extractor stands out, completely redesigned to facilitate the extraction of air from the underbody to generate downforce as well as making the car more assertive. The exclusive design of the lower area was created based on input from aerodynamics to push performance to the max. Revisions have also been made from the racing version. Seen from behind, a GT2 Stradale has even more grit from the large rear wheels being left visible as an interruption in the bodywork. The butterfly doors make it easier for the driver and passenger to get in. GT2 Stradale is a welcoming car that can be used on an everyday basis, courtesy of the level of comfort and specifications such as ADAS. It can therefore even be driven in the city, with aids such as cameras and parking sensors, now essential for a certain category of cars. The automatic transmission is an 8-speed oil-immersed dual-clutch design with 2 overdrive speeds to ensure emissions compliance. To further emphasize the car's sportiness, the time it takes to change gears has been reduced. The braking system is new, developed with Brembo specifically for the GT2 Stradale as a step forward from the first-generation carbon ceramic brakes. The diameter and thickness of the discs have been increased to improve driving performance. This geometry requires more cold air to lower the system temperature, achieved by adding a new cooling brake at the front and rear, where the air entering from the sill has been partialized. The cabin has been revamped to reduce the weight, to increase the car's performance even further. This quest for lightness also brings with it enhancement of the structural components, including the carbon fiber monocoque. The car's pure forms, enhanced by prestigious materials, coexist with contrasting technical details. The driver is more than ever the center of attention. All the controls are designed functionally, for easy access while improving driving performance. The dark environment with matte finishes and Alcantara upholstery is specially designed to minimize reflections and distractions while driving. The central tunnel has been redesigned to make it lighter. On the central cabinet, known as spider trim, the steering settings knob has been ergonomically repositioned, bringing it closer to the driver. The spider is made of carbon fiber, painted in standard black or in aesthetic carbon fiber as an optional extra, with a section in carbon look. The upper part in exposed carbon fiber is in a yellow clearly derived from racing, given that during the night in endurance races the driver must always be able to find the controls they need as quickly as possible. Only the buttons and switches that are absolutely necessary are there. The driving mode selector and the 2 buttons to change gear or shift into reverse. Everything is designed not to distract from the driving experience and follow the minimalistic yet simultaneously highly refined philosophy. On the lower part of the central tunnel are the controls for the electric windows and the infotainment volume. The wireless charger is also available at all times and has indeed been enlarged to fit the latest smartphones. GT2 Stradale is equipped with the latest Maserati Intelligent Assistant multimedia infotainment system. It uses the Android Automotive operating system, with advantages such as high processing speed, smooth screen, and page customization. The 10.25-inch cluster is fully digital, with a thin film transistor display. The central display, again 10.25-inch, has an HD resolution and touchscreen functions typical of personal smart devices. This screen also has a special anti-reflective coating to ensure maximum visibility even in direct sunlight. All the interiors are upholstered in anti-glare Alcantara with contrasting blue stitching, whereas the carbon fiber monocoque has been left exposed, uniquely in its category, much appreciated by customers who have expressly asked to be able to admire it when behind the wheel of their car. The door handles feature yellow pull lettering, further emphasizing the feeling of being in the cockpit of a race car. The flagship in the interior is definitely the new aesthetic double-shell seats in carbon fiber with foam ends upholstered in blue Electrico Alcantara. Specially designed with Sabolt, they ensure the driving position can be lowered even further to accentuate the car's racing character. They are available in 2 sizes for the driver: large, standard, and small, optional. They are well suited to drive the car both on an everyday basis and on the track, giving the driver the feeling of always being firmly planted in front of the steering wheel. The rear bar behind the seats, optional and available with the performance pack, is functional for fastening 4-point belts, typical of racing cars. It is possible to opt for sport seats, which are less extreme than the racing seats and gentler in terms of their size. A thicker steering wheel was chosen to maximize ergonomics and the sporty feel. Only the essential buttons and switches remain intact, including the start and launch control buttons, built into the central surround of the steering wheel. The steering wheel is upholstered in Alcantara with carbon fiber accents, and is enriched by contrasting blue stitching, reminiscent not only of the ignition button on the steering wheel, but also the remainder of the interior stitching and door handles. The easily accessible, generously sized paddle shifters set into the steering column are also available in carbon fiber as an optional extra. Another feature from the GT2 can be found in the angular, not curved upper quadrant of the steering wheel, where 9 white, blue, and red LEDs appear, suggesting to the driver the exact moment to change gear over 5,500 revolutions per minute when the drive selector is set to Sport or Casa. The same suspension geometry as developed for the track version has been used for the GT2 Stradale. In the center of the driving mode selector, there is a button to adjust the suspension. It is useful in Sport or Casa modes when the suspension is extremely stiff. Pressing the suspension button makes the suspension more comfortable. This is particularly relevant on uneven ground, as it gives the driver a sporty yet simultaneously comfortable driving experience.